Okay. So, welcome to Happy Hour Flow and Restore. And if you're catching the replay of the video, for class tonight, you will need 2 pillows, a blanket or 2, and a strap, which I didn't grab mine. Here we go. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a belt or a towel. Even a hand towel will probably work. We're going to be doing some hamstring stretching this evening, so this will be an important prop for class tonight. I'm going to have you start on your back with legs up the wall. So once you, or the bed, if you don't have a wall. So any piece of furniture around you or a door would work. You're going to take either your mat or a blanket close to the wall. You're going to come down on your back with your bottom as close to the wall as possible. So I like to get into this pose by first kind of placing my butt as close to the wall as possible, coming down onto my side, and then rolling onto my back to bring my legs up. You can have your feet about hips width distance. If you'd like them wider or closer, that's fine. Really just want to be close enough to the wall that you can relax your legs against it. And then hands can go on your belly or down to your side with your palms facing up. This is a restorative pose that we're starting with tonight, just as a way to transition to this time together on our mat. And then all together, let's do 2 deep sighing breaths. So deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and audibly sigh it out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And let it go. I want you to just return to normal breathing, whatever that is for you tonight. I want you to think of something in your day or maybe your week that's happened that you can let go of. Maybe it's something you've been worrying about, something that happened that upset you, something that angered you, or maybe just something that didn't go the way you hoped it would. I want you to think of that thing. I want you to hold that thing in your mind, that event or that feeling. I'm going to do one more deep sighing breath to let go of that. So all together, deep inhale. Think of that feeling or thing that you're releasing and let it go in your exhale. And it's gone. And all that's left is you. And more peace. I'm going to stay here for just a minute or 2. I want you to just become aware of how you're feeling today in your body, in your mind. and spirit. For example, you might have an injury or an ache or pain in your body, but maybe your spirit is quite joyful and hopeful. Or maybe your body's feeling really good, but you're feeling really frustrated or stagnant, anxious. There's not always a clear line between that mind-body connection. That's where our time together on our mat will hopefully bridge that gap. I want you to find one body part that you can let go or soften. Maybe your jaw, your shoulders, your forehead, or scalp. To tune into your own body. Notice where you're holding your tension. And see if you can soften any amount. Nice, easy breathing. Allowing each breath to freely flow into the next. If you've had your eyes closed, you may want to blink them open slowly. Begin to walk your feet down the wall. And I want you to roll onto one side or the other. We'll stay here for just a moment in the fetal position. Just taking this moment here to feel nurtured already by coming to your mat this evening. Then pressing down with one hand in front of your heart, you can push up to a seated position. I want you to take a minute to move your mat or props around as needed. We'll be using blankets for the restorative portion of class later on, so keep that blanket nearby. And we'll come back onto your mat on your back, but have your strap handy. So I have a yoga strap. Again, you can use a towel, a beach towel, maybe even a hand towel if your legs aren't too long or your arms aren't too short, or a belt, just a regular belt. So coming down onto your back. And both knees are bent to start. I want you to kind of find the middle of your towel, belt, or strap. You're gonna place it on the ball of the right foot. It's kind of on the forefoot, just below the toes, but not in the arch of the foot. I like to keep my left knee bent to start. That just helps keep my low back flat on the ground, protects it. All you're gonna do here is a simple pulsation with your breath. So inhale, bending the knee, exhale, straightening the knee. Just beginning to work on opening the hamstrings, the back of the leg. And if you feel like you have a really tight grip on your strap or belt, you can always wrap it around your hands for a more passive grip. Now, options to deepen this stretch would be to pull your toes down towards your face, so flexing your foot a bit more. You'll feel a deeper stretch in the calf. And then obviously bringing your toes a bit further back behind you will deepen the stretch on the hamstring. Option then to explore extending the left leg out in front of you. You may notice that you then have to move your right leg forward a bit if you straighten your left leg, and that's okay. I want this to be as dynamic as possible for you. As you feel your hamstring begin to open, you can start to pull that right leg back a bit further. The left leg should be active if you straightened it. So flexing the left foot, pressing the back of the left leg down on your mat. If that doesn't feel good, come back to the bent knee. Energetically, they're very different. From here, you have the option to keep the strap in both hands or shift your strap to your right hand only, placing your left hand down by your side, palm facing down. Take a deep inhale. On an exhale, begin to open your right foot down towards the ground. The goal is not to get to the ground, but merely to open the right hip. I like to keep a slight bend in my right knee. So we're opening into hip abduction and stretching the inside of the right hip. I want you to just find your edge, meaning you feel a good stretch, but wherever you end is sustainable. So you should not have any pain. You should not feel like you're wincing. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And on your second exhale, bringing your right foot back up towards the sky. And then bending your right knee to remove the strap. Hug your right knee into your chest for just a moment. Left knee can be bent so that your foot is on the ground. I want you to just do a few little circles with your right knee. So mobilizing the right hip. Beautiful. Then set the right foot down. We'll switch sides. So finding the middle of your strap or belt or towel, placing it on the left forefoot, the ball of the foot, finding a grip that works for you. I like my arms to be a bit straighter when I stretch my hamstrings this way. And then my shoulders are kind of pressed down onto my mat, so it feels more relaxing. And then simple knee flexion and extension with your breath. So inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, extend. Remember that we can deepen a stretch only by breathing. It's almost more like you're softening into it rather than forcing it. Again, time to explore the position of your ankle. So flexing your ankle or pointing your toes more will change the sensation in the calf. And then of course, depending on how tight or flexible you are, pulling your left foot back will also deepen the stretch. More towards the glutes. And then extending the right leg out in front of you, flexing the right foot, engaging the right leg. So you're trying to press the back of the right leg down. Nice, easy breathing. You can begin to move the strap into your left hand. And on your next exhale, you'll slowly open the left foot out to the side. Right hand comes down to the ground, palm facing down. That's just to give you a little bit of stability. The other option would be to bend the right knee and let the right knee fall open. And that's kind of like a counterbalance to the weight of the left leg going so far out to the side. There's some discomfort involved in stretching, but for the most part, it should feel good. It should feel like you're doing something nurturing for your body. If you find that you're holding your breath, you're scrunching up your face, you've probably gone too far. So back off just a bit on the range of motion. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And on your second exhale, bringing that left foot back up towards the sky, bending the left knee. Remove the strap. You can put that off to the side for now, kind of out of the way. Hug the left knee into the chest. You can begin to make little circles with your knee. And then change directions. Releasing the left foot down to the ground. So both knees are bent, both feet are flat on the ground. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Then you're going to pick your left foot up off the ground so that your left shin is perpendicular to the ceiling. Now we're stretching the back of the right hip. And if it feels okay for you, you can interlace your fingers behind the left thigh or on top of the left shin if you happen to be particularly flexible. So this is supine pigeon, or you may have heard it called the figure 4 stretch. I like to move a little bit here, just gently and slowly rocking side to side. And that just changes the sensation on the back of my right hip. Nice, easy breaths. And then releasing your hands, bringing the left foot down and switch sides. Uncross the right leg and then cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh. Left foot is flexed. And then you're going to lift your right foot off the ground so that your shin is perpendicular to the ceiling. If that feels like enough of a stretch, your hands can stay down by your side. Otherwise, you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh or on top of the right shin. But again, deeper doesn't always mean better when we're talking about stretching. In fact, oftentimes it might be more prone to injury. So you want to find that sweet spot just for you. can gently rock as I am, side to side. Or if your body is calling for more stillness, then I invite you to listen. Make sure you're not tensing up other parts of your body that you may still be carrying tension in from your day. I often look to the shoulders, the upper traps, and above. So hiking your shoulders up towards your ears, your jaw, your eyes, the space between your eyebrows. Oftentimes carrying tension in these little muscles in our face and neck. So just see if you can notice if that's true for you. And if so, can you allow those areas to soften? And then release your hands, bring your right foot down, uncross the left foot. We're going to take a minute to hug both knees into your chest, into Uttanasana, lifting your head up, squeezing your knees into your chest. And then backing off that squeeze, you can gently rock back and forth, hands on your knees or on the back of your thighs. We're just rocking and rolling up to tabletop. So I cross my ankles at the top and then come to hands and knees. And then turn around so I can see you guys and face you. We're going to just do a simple cat-cow flow to open the back. So today's kind of primarily focused on stretching. So toes can be tucked or untucked, hands are stacked under your shoulders, knees under the hips. On an inhale, draw your hands towards you, look forward, allow your belly button to fall towards the earth, arching the low back. Exhale, press your hands away from you, tuck your chin to your chest, round your spine. Inhale back to cow, looking forward. Exhale, press your hands away from you like you're pushing the earth down to round your mid and upper back. Inhale back to cow, look forward, chest pulls forward. Exhale, back to cat. Now I want you to keep moving here with your own breath. You can speed it up a bit. Really exaggerating each movement. This is one of my favorite flows in yoga or poses, cat-cow. With as much sitting as we do, whether that's in our car or at our desk or even the kitchen table. This is just a really nice way to mobilize the spine. Then I want you to feel free to get a little bit more, free flow with it. So maybe even moving your rib cage side to side. Or beginning to move your pelvis in circles. So sitting back a little bit like child's pose and then shifting forward. So making large circles as you flex and extend your spine. There's no wrong way to move here. Feel free to change directions whenever it suits you. Make sure you're pressing down actively into your fingers so you're not sinking into your wrists. Just do 2 more rounds of cat-cow wherever you are, or 2 more circles. You're moving in a circular direction. And then we'll meet back in neutral spine and tabletop. I want you to tuck your toes. You're going to walk your hands forward about 1 palm print. And then keep your knees bent to start. Send your hips up and back to your first downward dog. Like the knees bent to start so that you can open the shoulders and lengthen the spine before you begin to work on opening the hamstrings again. When you feel ready, you can begin to pedal your feet. So bending one knee and then the other. And as you feel your hamstrings begin to open, you can allow both heels to fall towards the earth, trying to straighten both knees as you're able to. We're going to move into our more flowy part of class now. So it will be 1 movement to 1 breath. We're going to move a little bit faster here, but I'll be right there with you. So on an inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. On an exhale, step through to your right thumb. If you can't step all the way through, go ahead and grab your right ankle and bring it through with an assist. Lower the back knee down. Hands come up to the top of the right knee. So we're in low lunge. So inhale, shift your hips forward. Exhale, send your hips back. Fingertips come down. Right toes come up to half splits. So we're going to flow between these two. So inhale to low lunge. Exhale to half splits. Your right knee doesn't have to come straight. Inhale to low lunge. Exhale, half splits. We're going to do 1 more time, but we're going to hold a little longer. So inhale to low lunge. And just make sure that your right foot is stacked under the knee. We don't want your right knee too far past your ankle. If you feel unstable with your hands on your knee, you can bring your fingertips down to the ground. I really just want an opening of the front of the left hip. So wherever your hands feel best for you. And then you can bring fingertips down, exhale back to half splits. So I'm straightening my right knee, my hips shift back over my left knee, and my right toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. If you have blocks at home, yoga blocks, this is a great place to use them to keep length through your spine. And remember, blocks are just a prop to help. They're not remedial. But for example here, if I had really short arms, it might be hard for me to reach the ground. Or if my hamstrings were super, super tight, I might not even be able to get my fingertips down. So it might look more like this. And that's perfectly fine. Feel free to turn your toes side to side. I like to call this flossing the hamstrings. And then coming back to neutral, toes pointed up. You're going to shift your weight forward back to low lunge, rebending your right knee. If you were using any props, you can put those out of the way. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Inhale and step back to plank. Exhale, Knees down to modified plank to start, and lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, press down through the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, inhale, rise to cobra. Beautiful, exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes and you'll push up through tabletop or plank, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, sweep your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step through to the left thumb. Lower the back knee down. If that hurts your knee, you can always use one of your blankets to pad it, or you can fold your yoga mat over to double it up, kind of like this. Back toes are untucked, and then hands come up to the top of the knee. So inhale, shift your weight forward, pressing the left shin forward. Exhale, send your hips back, fingertips down, left toes come up. Half splits, beautiful. We'll go between those two for a few more rounds. Inhale to low lunge, opening the right hip. Exhale back to half splits. Again, we're working those hamstrings. Inhale to low lunge. Exhale back to half splits. And this time we'll hold it. So come forward to low lunge, and you can explore fingertips down or up on your knee, whatever feels best for you tonight. I want to make sure that you feel like you're shifting your weight forward enough that you feel a really deep opening of the right hip, the front of the right hip. Nice, easy breaths. And then shifting your weight back to half splits. Again, option to use any props that you may have. And I'll just show you guys. Plastic cups make great yoga blocks. So if you have something like that, you're welcome to use that. Books work. Otherwise, if you have no props, you're just trying to get your fingertips to the ground. That's it. Trying to keep length through your spine. Left toes are up towards the sky. And then again, you can begin to turn the toes side to side. The left toes turn from right to left slowly. Beautiful. And then coming back to neutral. You're going to rebend your front knee, shifting your weight forward. Hands come down. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Inhale and step back to plank. Option to go from high plank down to chaturanga, or come down to your knees like me for modified plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, rise to cobra. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Push up through tabletop or plank. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, sweep the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step through to the right thumb. Beautiful. Inhale, round your spine like cat. And on an exhale, walk your hands around to the left side of your mat. So you're in a wide leg forward fold. On an inhale, press down through your fingertips, lengthen your spine, look forward. Exhale, fold. Let's repeat that again. Inhale, lengthen your spine, press down through your fingertips, look forward. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. We're gonna hold this here, and I want you to take the time to explore where you want your hands tonight. So you can reach out towards your ankles and let your head hang heavy. Or you can walk your fingertips through your legs, almost behind you. Or you can simply keep your fingertips out in front of you. And feel free to move side to side. So bending one knee and then the other. Almost like Skandasana, which is side lunge. Your choice if you're seeking movement or stillness. And then wherever you are in this pose, begin to walk your fingertips forward. Press down through them. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. Exhale, turn back towards the front of your mat, rebending your front knee back to lunge. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Knees can come down to modified plank. Inhale, rise to cobra. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Inhale, push up through tabletop or plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step through to the left thumb. Inhale, round your spine, press down through your fingertips like cat. And then exhale, walk your hands around to the right side of your mat to a wide leg forward fold. Press down through your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Looking forward. And then exhale, fold. Last time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Coming back up to your fingertips, lengthen your spine. This time, exhale, walk your hands back around towards the front of your mat. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down, or knees down to modified plank. Pressing down through the tops of your feet and your hands. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Shoulder blades towards your spine. Inhale, press up to cobra. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Inhale and push up through tabletop or plank. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. 5 full cycles of breath here. And then after you've completed your 5 rounds, come down to your knees and then transition to a seated position. So for our peak pose tonight, we're doing something called Kraunchasana, which is Sanskrit for Heron pose. I like to use my folded up blanket for this to help me tilt my pelvis forward. So if you would like a blanket, I invite you to fold it, and then you're going to come to the edge so that it rotates your pelvis forward. And you'll kind of feel the difference when you get there because it kind of forces you into an upright posture and your spine lengthens. So from here, we have a couple options. You want to keep your strap handy. If you know you have really tight hamstrings, the strap is useful here, and I'll show you how to use that in just a minute. You're going to attempt Heron pose without the strap. You're going to bend your right knee so that your right heel comes in as close to your body as possible. And then you're going to keep your left knee bent. My left foot is on the ground. I'm going to reach down and interlace my fingers under the ball of my foot, just like where I put my strap earlier when we were stretching our hamstrings. Now, what I want to make sure is that when you did that maneuver there to interlace your fingers, that you then pull back up so your spine is lengthened and you're sitting as tall as possible. From here, on an exhale, you're going to begin to lean back just a bit so that you can lift your left foot off the ground. Then you're going to extend your left leg in front of you. Now, I can tell you right now, my left leg is not completely straight. I will turn sideways so you can see. There's still a bend in my knee. I just want you to try to keep length through your spine and straightening the left leg as much as possible. Now, if the length of your arms and legs have a major discrepancy, or you're very, very tight in your hamstrings, even after all that stretching, this is where you can use the strap. So I'll turn back so you can see me. I've got this all tangled. Well, okay, there we go. So you only need part of the strap, but again, this is just an extension of your arms, okay? So that just allows my leg to be a little bit more out in front. Same thing. Again, I can use one hand or two, and I'll turn sideways so you can see a little bit better. But that just gives me some more length. Beautiful. And then on an exhale, coming back down. Now that I've shown you how to use the strap, I'm going to put it to the side and we'll do the other side. So I'm going to bend my left knee out to the side, left heel comes in close to my body. Right knee bends, my right foot's down on the ground. First, readjust your pelvis, I should have said that. So make sure you're at the front of the blanket, nice, tall, long spine. Right knee's bent. Then I'm going to interlace my fingers under the ball of my right foot. First thing to adjust is lengthen your spine, pulling as if I had a string pulling you taller through the crown of your head. And then on an exhale, begin to lean back just a little bit to extend your right leg in front of you. Nice, easy breaths. Nice job. And again, if this feels like too much, I invite you to bring your foot down and try it with the strap. I don't want you to feel any sense of like wincing or pain. The stretch might be too deep if that's what you're experiencing. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then rebend the right knee, bringing the right foot down. Let's just cross your legs for just a moment, sitting up nice and tall, long spine. Allowing your shoulders to fall away from your ears. Beautiful job. So we're going to transition to the restorative part of class. So nice and relaxing. We're going to start with a supported bridge pose tonight. So you'll want 1, maybe 2 pillows, or you can use a pillow and a folded up blanket. I want you to place them on either side of your mat, kind of close to your hips. I always like to put my props on my dominant side, my right side. And then you're going to come down to your back. So slowly rolling down. Making sure that you have your head supported by your mat and that you're in the appropriate spot and that you can reach your pillows. So my knees are bent, I'm walking my heels in towards the glutes. On an inhale, press down through your feet, lift your hips up, and you're gonna pull those pillows or blankets, whatever you're using, under your hips. So you can see I had to kind of press up onto my toes to get my hips up high enough to place the props. And what I want you to feel is that you're supported under your sacrum, so kind of above and below the top of your pelvis. And once you feel like your props are in the right spot, your hands can come down to your side. Then you're going to begin to extend your legs out in front of you. You can walk your feet slowly, slowly, until you reach kind of your maximum range. This is a nice hip opener as a counter pose to the deep hip flexion you were just in Heron pose. If it feels like too much of a stretch on the front of your hips, I invite you to walk your feet back in just a little bit until you feel like you can relax here. Nice deep breath. Letting go of any residual tension. And really just allowing yourself to feel supported by the earth below, as well as your props. You notice you're pressing down into the back of your arms. Just let go of any effort. Allowing your feet to fall open naturally, wherever they may fall. Just beginning to focus your mind on your breath. Breathing in and out for the same amount of time. You'll be starting with a count of 4. If that feels like too short of a breath, going up to 5 or 6. So inhaling for a count of 4. Exhaling for a count of 4. And just continue on your own. Just do 3 more rounds of breathing like that. Breathing in and out of the nostrils each time. And when you've completed your 3 rounds, you can begin to walk your feet in towards your glutes, bending your knees, walking your heels in as close as possible to the pillows or blankets below your hips. On an inhale, press down through your feet, lift up as high as you can, and pull those props out to the side. On an exhale, slowly lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to roll onto your right side and then press up to a seated position. Beautiful. We're now going to take your pillows. So if you have 2 smaller ones like me, you're going to want to place them vertically along your spine, but touching your spine, your mat, vertically along your mat, so that the pillows are touching. Then you're gonna scoot up so that your right side is touching the edge of the pillow closest to you, and you're in side sitting. Now from here up, I was looking for my folded blanket. Your knees can be stacked on top of each other or staggered, so whatever feels better for you. I also like to put a folded up blanket between my knees here. And we're gonna come into what's called a grounded spinal twist. So you're gonna place your fingertips on either side of the pillows, looking at your pillows to start, finding length through your spine. And then on an exhale, slowly lowering down, walking your fingertips forward so that the right and left rib cage come down at the same time. You'll then want to turn your head to the left. And then walk your forearms and hands away from the pillows so that you're completely relaxed on the pillows. There's no effort, no pushing through your arms or hands. Almost like you've just melted across the top of your props. I always think of the image of a river when I'm in this pose. Thinking about how the water winds around and over the rocks. There's nothing that gets in its way. It can move around anything. And similarly, we can allow our bodies and minds to be as fluid as water. You're finding it difficult to allow your mind to settle. I invite you to focus your mind on the sensation of your breath, noticing the cool air that enters your nose. You breathe in. Notice as you exhale through your nose, the air is now warm. Keep focused on that sensation of breath coming in and breath going out. We give our mind something to focus on. All the other distractions in our brain seem to fall away. Begin to draw your hands in towards you under your shoulders. On an inhale, press down through your hands and push up to seated. I want you to just rotate your body to the other side so you can keep the blanket between your knees. You're just going to reorient your lower body so that your left thigh touches the pillow. You can adjust your blanket between your knees however you like. Fingertips come to either side of the pillows. And on an exhale, begin to walk your fingertips away from you, lowering your rib cage on the right and left at the same time. This time you're going to turn your head to the right. Again, you're going to want to move your forearms and hands away from the pillows so that you can completely relax. And if you find your mind coming back to worries or reflections, again, I want you to gently remind your mind that you can focus on your breath. Feeling that sensation of cool air coming in and warm air going out. And just that simple act is the thing that literally continues to give you life. The simple act of breathing. The longer we remain still, begin to notice a sense of spaciousness, both in body and in mind. Whereas there was physical tension in our body before, we notice a sense of spaciousness, expansiveness. And the same happens in the mind when we give it space and time to just be. I want you to begin to draw your hands in towards your pillows and under your shoulders. Then on an inhale, you're going to press down through your hands to push up to seated. And we'll transition to our final pose this evening of basic relaxation pose. So you'll want to place the blanket that was between your knees at the top of your mat. That will support your head. And then you're going to place your pillows under your knees. This is just like a supported shavasana or corpse pose. And then if you do have a second blanket, you can roll it up like a tortilla, place it at the end of your mat to support your ankles and float your heels. If you don't have that blanket, don't worry about it. It feels just as good without it. You'll slowly lower down to your back. Then you can use the blanket under your head to support your neck by rolling up the end of it to really support the cervical spine. Hands come down away from your hips, palms face up, allowing your feet to naturally roll into external rotation. Letting your shoulders relax towards the earth. And take one more deep sighing breath together. Deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out. And then just return to normal breathing. Allowing your body and mind to simply let go. Begin to deepen your breath. Bringing your awareness back to your physical body. And gently wiggle your fingers and toes. On an inhale, sweep your right arm up overhead. Bend your knees, placing one foot on your pillow and then the other. You're going to roll again to your right side for a moment in the fetal position. Pressing down with your left hand in front of your heart. Begin to push up to seated position, where we will meet in the easy seat or Sukhasana, our hands at heart center. And Anjali Mudra, which is the position of offering. May the efforts of our practice this evening be of benefit to all beings everywhere in some way, shape, or form, especially to those whose lives we directly touch. May we be happy, may we be healthy, may we be free. Namaste. Thank you guys for being here. And if you're catching the replay and you enjoyed class, I am taking donations on PayPal and Venmo. My Venmo is at Sondra Funk, SONDRAFUNK. Or PayPal is just my email, sondrafunk@gmail.com. I am trying to contribute some of these donations to my local studio where I normally teach at, Ray of Light in Leadville. And so any donations you make will go to help support both my family, we're on a one-income household right now, and my local studio. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next week.